Welcome to Heroically Inclined. I'm Bill, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about gaming during this quarantine situation. If you're like me, stuck inside all the time, um, I'm a bartender by trade, so I don't get much of that interaction I used to get all the time with guests at my bar. So here I am, playing games like I always do, but now a little bit more than before, and searching out ways to be able to interact with friends all across the country like I did before, but now even more, even just friends in the same city I don't get to see. So let's go into some of my favorite ways to spend the time and still get some gaming in during this whole quarantine situation. Roll20. This is a system that I find very usable. It's got a very simplistic, already designed in system with maps, tokens that you can add in. Very robust system, I guess I'd say. There are pre-built-in rules. It knows the 5e rules in general. Character sheets are all designed in, and with a little bit of work, it does take a little bit of experience with the system in order to be able to manipulate it to its full ability. Now, it does have great, just free, out-of-the-box settings in there, with very little extra work that you have to do in order to make it usable. However, there is a paid version, and I think they have a $5 a month version, which is pretty awesome. It allows you to have dynamic lighting set up in your games so that your players actually only see what their characters would be able to see. Again, this takes some work and some fiddling around to make sure that it works perfectly, and to be honest, I'm still not quite there yet. I don't use this too often. I do have one group that I'm running this way. This particular module that you see up here is part of the Mines of Fendelver module. Purchase the module. It comes with the maps, all the encounters, everything that you need to do to run the entire module. Unless you want to run a few of the side quests, you do have to upload your own maps if you want to do that, or jump to Theater of the Mind. It's not a problem too much for me. I'm pretty used to Theater of the Mind. In fact, that is my go-to way. Here we go. One of the systems I like to use is Streamyard. It's a streaming system that allows you to stream directly to YouTube and gives all the videos here. It's got some pretty awesome abilities in the tools where you can bring players in and out of the active scene if you want. You can display yourself as one single person if you got to do the big monologue or intro to the game. You can also share screens, which helps a lot when you want to do something like add in a map. So generally I run Theater of the Mind, just all my players here, being able to see most of them. And sometimes, though, you want to do a more dynamic battle, and a battle map can help with that. So I stole this idea from Matt Click from Fistful of Dice. Great channel. If you haven't checked him out, please check him out. I'll put the link in the description. However, he talked about using Google Drawing for such a thing, and back at that time, he was using Google Hangouts. So Hangouts, Zoom, Discord, there's all sorts of different options you can use to do basically the same thing. I like StreamYard, and I just use the unpaid version at this point. It's a good system. There's a few things you can't do with the free version, and you have to deal with having a giant duck in your screen. If you checked out any of my YouTube videos of my Shattered Lands campaign, you'll notice that's in there. However, I think for what you get for free, I'm willing to give them the free advertising on that. This is not sponsored. This is not paid. This is just my streaming choice for playing D&D. So in this game, I uploaded a map. I threw together at the last second tokens because honestly, I came up with this idea about 45 minutes before the game started, and I was rushing to get this all set up. But this gave me a big combat that I wanted to do with a mage and a bunch of his little guys running around against my PCs. This gave them the ability to see exactly what was going on, especially since that battle started with Cloud Kill coming through the doors of this herbalist shop that they were in. I love the use of this. It worked well. In the future, I think I may do this more, but I'll give them the opportunity to jump into the Ghoul draw. Here, I manipulated everything, made them tell me what their characters were going to do before I moved them. In the future, I may give them access so that they can move their drawing tokens, their tokens around, and upload pictures for the different tokens. But in a pinch and a quick throw, this worked out great. I love it. So those are my D&D general ways. There's other ways you can do it, and one of which is this. It's Tabletop Simulator. This I got through Steam. It's about $20, so this is the only paid version I have up on this video. You have to pay for that, but then once you pay the $20, there are tons of different systems that are set up just for you to be able to download and use through the tabletop system. So this particular one is a fantasy village you can use, all 3D. You can also upload tokens, so you can upload your custom tokens if you figure that out. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I actually don't run D&D through Tabletop Simulator. I play other games, mostly board games on there, which I'll get to in a second. But this particular one I thought was a really cool fantasy village. You could set up an entire day of RPG in here, have the village get attacked by orcs, whatever you want to do. Gives you a 3D system. It's got a ruler in there you can use. I just feel that perhaps, and I haven't done this yet in Tabletop Simulator, running in here might be a little tough to manipulate everything. You'd probably have to be a little bit more versed in this program than I currently am. But if you would like a very awesome system with dice and everything else you can use in there, with a little bit of work on yourself or finding the right modules that are set up in there, you could make this the system for you. There are other systems similar. I know Fantasy Grounds is one, and if you like that, Matt Colville put up a great video earlier on this week that goes over the specifics of Fantasy Grounds, how to use it, how robust it is, how amazing it is. That, I believe, is paid, at least for the Dungeon Master. I'm not sure the full pay structure that is, but feel free to check it out. It may be the system you're using for. I have a feeling it's a little bit more between Roll20 and this, somewhere in there. But a great system nonetheless. This particular one, I uploaded a Magic the Gathering Commander table here. It's got over 100 Commander pre-made decks that you can use and play against other friends. This is another game I like to play, but it's by far not the limit of Tabletop Simulator. For the $20 I paid, I'm a fan. I played mini board games on here with friends, some of which we own personally, some of which I think we've just kind of like learned through the system. But they're great ways to get together with friends. Being someone who plays on the internet primarily, most of my friends are on the internet. I used to run a podcast, and a lot of my friends from that are all over the country, all over California, all across the country, more than that. And some of the only ways I get to see them is to hang out online. Other than the once or twice a year, we may get together at a convention or a gathering of friends. So, what is your preferred way to play during this pandemic situation where we're all locked down, kind of getting tired of looking at ourselves and perhaps even our significant others? Let me know. Drop something in the comments in there. This particular music you're listening to is Frame by KV. It is a public domain, or free to use, I guess, option that I found on YouTube. Check it out. I will try my best to put a link in the description. I'll also work on putting a link for Matt Colville's video in there as well. If you liked this video, I would love a like and a subscribe. Let's get my channel built. Share it to a friend who you think might be interested. And if you really like it, I'm not doing ads at the moment. I'm not doing Patreon or anything like that. I do have some shirts I've designed that are up on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for that as well, and I would appreciate it if you checked them out, and if you like any of them, purchase one. It puts a little bit towards me and maybe helps build this channel a little bit more. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'm Bill from Heroically Inclined, and let me help you put the hero in your games. Stay safe, stay separate, and see you when this is all over.